If you want to participate, contact me at ordinarywomenpodcast@gmail.com. I'm sure you have great projects to brag about. You can also follow me and message me on Instagram at ordinarywomenpodcast, on Twitter at ordinarywomenpc, or on Facebook on the page Ordinary Women. Hello everyone, welcome to Ordinary Women. Today we're out with Nolwenn. Hi Nolwenn.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Me too.
Can you start by giving a quick introduction of yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Nolwenn. I'm French. I'm 25 years old and I live in Normandy in France. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Very nice. Can you tell us something unusual about you?
I could search for that one. Something unusual about me, I've moved 14 times, so which is quite a lot at 25 years old, I think.
14 times?
Yeah, 14 times, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just past the 14th time. It's maybe 15th day. D'ailleurs. some French words might pop.
It's absolutely fine.
It might be the 50th time since I've moved to Normandy like a month ago. But yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's quite a lot, yeah.
That is a lot. Where have you moved?
Mainly in France. So I did like every 2-3 years a triangle between Brittany, Paris, and the south of France. And and then we did this triangle for like many years. And then I moved to London for 3 years.
Okay.
And then I came back to France, to Paris region, and then I moved to Lyon, and then I re-moved to Paris, and then I moved to Normandy, so yeah.
Nice. Oh, wow. That's a lot. You must have so many friends all around France and in London.
Well, not really, because, it's quite difficult, which is the thing that was difficult, when you move around a lot, is you come to a city, you make friends, and then you leave after like 2-3 years, maybe sometimes 1 year. And when you're young, you keep in touch for a while. But since like you're not free of any movement, you can't go back every time to see them. And so you kind of lost touch with a lot of people. So over the years, you stop, writing and calling, and from both sides, actually. So no, I don't have like many friends around the France of the world, but I kept in touch with some of them. So that's cool.
Nice. Oh, that's so great. Have you learned anything? Like if you have one learning that you took from moving around, what would it be?
I think it's that you can adapt if you want to any situation and any places. For many years, as you can guess, I was telling my parents, oh no, I don't want to move. I don't want to leave my friends. And then when I was like 15 or 16, I realized I was lucky actually to be able to move around and to experience many things and to see lots of places. And I think that's what you learn. It's that people can adapt and you can do what you want. And it's okay to uproot your life sometimes to go somewhere else and see something else. And that's what I learned.
Oh, that's so cool. That's such a nice learning. Yeah. And now you know that you can go wherever you want. You'll be able to.
It's not so scary anymore. Like when we decided to move to Normandy, or when we decided with Lucas which is my husband, by the way, when we decided to move to Paris, it kind of was exciting and not scary. So when people are not used to it, they can be scared. But when you do it and when you get up the courage to do it, I think it's very exciting and you can learn so much when you do that. French word.
French popping every now and then. That's fine. So nice. That's so cool. That's so great to hear. So here we talk a lot about being a woman.
Yeah.
So a question I like to ask at the beginning is, was there an event that made you realize that you are a woman?
I thought about this question a lot because I think I've always known I was a woman, and I tried to recollect like an event or something. I had like 2 things, but I don't think it particularly defines me as a woman, because now there are a lot of definitions, like the study of gender. So to me, I think I realized I was a woman, like biologically speaking, when I got my first period, evidently. But I don't think it's like the definition of being a woman, not at all. Mm-hmm. But for me, I think it's when I realized, I was a woman. And the second thing is a bit sad, but the first time I think I experienced like sexism and the way people view women. And it's kind of difficult today and yesterday too to be a woman. So I think I don't have a particular memory, but I know when I was young, many times I was like, I know I'm different from like men because they don't live life as I do and as women do. So yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think there are so many to have these like realizing we're women because of sexism, which is sad. Yeah,
It's
and
so
yeah,
sad.
it is. But as you say, thankfully, it is not what defines us. If
Yeah,
anything,
no,
guys.
it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
I think there are many, many definitions of what it is to be a woman.
Mhm.
And there are more and more ones like coming today. And I think it's so great and so inspiring. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, completely agree on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so many ways to be. So yeah, it's nice. And to know that we can change also how many times
Yeah.
as we want.
Yeah. So, so much. I know I'm not the same woman I was like 5 or 6 years ago. So we're in constant
Mhm.
evolution, and that's great.
Yeah, it is. And you were talking about inspiring women. So, were there any feminine role model that you grew up with, like when you were a child?
No, like no celebrities come to mind. I don't think I was this kind of person to like be inspired by celebrities at the time. So when I think about it, the person that comes to mind is my mother, my mom.
Yeah.
And still today, I think of her as like my role model and she inspires me. She was a stay-at-home mom for like all part of my childhood. So I think she taught me that you can be a stay-at-home mom and still be like a feminist. And she taught me so many values about being a woman and being a mother and yeah, being a woman and a mother. So that was my role model as a child.
That's so cool. And is it something, do you want to be maybe it's a bit indiscreet as a question, but would you want to be a stay-at-home mom?
I think it wouldn't bother me. I don't think I want to do it for now because as much as I admire her, she dedicated her life to us and that's so great. And I have so many great memories of that. But I don't think that's something, I don't think it's me.
Yeah.
I don't think I could be a stay-at-home mom for like so many years. Maybe like a little bit.
Mhm.
And then again, I don't know what life has in store for me. So maybe I
Yeah.
would be a stay-at-home mom, and that's okay because she taught me it's okay, you know. So yeah.
Oh, that's so great. That's such a great learning. Yeah. And who do you think today are your female role models?
Today, so still my mom.
Yeah.
Hasn't changed, but
Mhm.
like I don't know, I developed my view on feminism and stuff like this. And there was one time I came across the biography of a journalist. Her name is Nellie Bly. I don't know if you know her, and
No.
she's the woman in fact that invented like investigative journalism, which is a very important part of journalism. And she's not like a known figure, you know.
Mhm.
So it always gets on my nerves because she invented something that is so important today and nobody
Yeah.
talks about it, like many women.
Obviously. Yeah.
And she was so inspiring because she lived, I don't remember, I think it was the 20th century. And, you know, at that time, women didn't do a lot of studies and stuff like this.
Mhm.
And she decided she wanted to be a writer and a journalist. And so she fought for it. And she took some subjects that were really hard. Like she went
Yeah.
into an asylum as a patient. Like she faked she was an insane person to go into an asylum and investigate on this asylum. And then she came
Wow.
out of the asylum, like, I don't know, she went there like 2 or 3 months, I think. I don't remember the length of the stay.
Mhm.
And then she wrote a paper on it, and it was very important work, especially at the time where asylums were very complicated places.
Yeah.
And so she did a lot of great work like this that I think paved the way to investigative journalism today. And she's not like thanked enough for this. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of my role models today. I admire her and her work a lot. And another person I admire today is Taylor Swift, who is an American singer. For many years, I used to listen to some of her songs, but you know, I was like, oh yeah, she's a country singer who sings about love, and you know, it's kind of a girly singer. And a friend of mine is a very big fan of hers, and she shared with me a lot of stuff about Taylor Swift's life and Taylor Swift songs. And when you listen to the songs and when you you really make an effort, you realize she's like this big feminist and this person who takes a lot of matters into her own hands. And I think she's very inspiring, and she's like the perfect example of people, you know, seeing a woman and judging her instantly by the cover,
Yeah.
if we can say that. So people say she's a girly singer, or she writes breakup songs and everything, and there's so much more to her. And yeah, so she's very inspiring, I
Yeah.
think.
Have you watched the documentary about her?
Not yet. It's in my to watch list
Yeah.
on Netflix. I haven't had the
Same.
time to watch it, but my friend told me to do it because she said it was very interesting, and yes.
Yeah, I heard the same. I haven't watched the documentary either yet, but apparently she talks a lot about the misogyny and like all the harassment that she had,
Yeah.
which is so awful. And yeah, and I remember seeing like an interview or something of her where she was saying, because I've seen a lot of like articles and stuff about Taylor Swift's love life and like the
Yeah.
fact that she breaks up and then she's gonna
Yeah.
make a new album, etc. And yeah, I remember her saying that it was purely misogyny, and if it was a man doing that,
Yeah.
it definitely, and for sure, like I don't have any names in mind, but for sure there are like so many men who do
Yeah.
that. And yeah.
Of course. And then again, it's normal to write, like, you know, about stuff that you've lived. So if she had like a
Yeah.
relationship and then it broke off, you know, for any reason, it's normal as an artist to write something that you know and
Yeah,
that you've lived.
definitely.
So yeah, it's only because she's a woman that like people say she's like I don't know, being mean or being cynical or stuff like this. And she said
Mm.
another thing that really impacted me, and she said like she has a lot of styles, like, you know, every album has its own personal style, if I can
Yes.
say. And then she said like, so they don't like me doing like country music, so I turned to rock. And then they said, oh, she turned to rock, so I do another thing and I do another thing. And then they say like I'm manipulative, and she's like, they say I'm manipulative because I'm a woman, not because like I'm a good business. You know, she said like I'm a good businesswoman, and they don't say that. They say like I'm manipulative. And if it were a man, they'd say like, oh, he's good, you know, he can adapt to many styles of music, and he can do many
Definitely.
stuff. And only because she's a woman, they say like mean stuff about her.
Yeah, no, this is so true. Like, think about, for instance, like the first example that comes to my mind is David Bowie. He had so many characters, did
Yeah.
so many different things, etc. And everybody says he's a genius.
Which he
Why,
was, you know,
when,
but
yeah,
yeah.
100%, like, I absolutely love the music that he did. But why, when it's Taylor Swift, we're
Yeah.
not able to do about it? I mean, we know the answer. The answer is misogyny, but yeah, it still sucks.
Yeah, and I think she's like the perfect. There are other examples, you know, but she's like the perfect example of it. She began her career very young, and she had like a stamp on her, and then she can't seem to get it off of her. And people think they know her and her songs, and when you look into it and when you think about it, they don't. And yeah, only because she's a woman, so that's complicated.
No, definitely. She's a great example, actually. Definitely.
Mm.
And would you say the lack of representation of women in society had an impact on you?
Yeah, it certainly did. I think the major impact in lack of representation was the way I viewed what I thought would be like a standard, you know, body, and the way I viewed I should be as a woman, and how should I look as a woman. When I think about like, you know, the TV shows or the singers or any celebrities that we saw when we were young, they all were so thin, like so thin, like no curves, nothing. And every girl just wanted to be like this, and there were absolutely like no representation. There were one type of woman, you know, the tall, thin, blonde girl, you know.
Yeah,
And I think it was difficult because we didn't realize it at the time, but it like paved the way to what we think and what we think we should be now. And I've had a hard time getting rid of this view and of what I think my body should be. And I think today there are more like representation of women and the different shapes, sizes, colors, and everything in women. It's still not great, but I think it's better. Like I have a 15-year-old sister and a little sister, and I talked to her about it, and I think like she's luckier than us in that way, that there are many more like feminist movies, feminist TV shows, and many more good representations of women, which we kind of did not have. And yeah, I think that's what I struggled
definitely.
with, like really the shape of the body and the perfect body, you know. And I think I'm not
Yeah.
the only one, but yeah, it was quite difficult.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't know many women who do not or did not struggle with that. Like, even I
Yeah.
remember talking about that at uni with other friends, and so many of them like counted calories or things like that during high
Yeah.
school. And you're just like, you're still growing up. It's so not okay. Like,
It's not
how
healthy. Yeah, no.
exactly? How, like, why is it that, like, the only representation that we get push us to do that?
Yeah, yeah. Really, when I think about all these TV shows, like, Gossip Girl, Vampire Diaries,
Yeah.
One Tree Hill, like all these TV shows, the girls were so thin, so, so, so thin. And when I think about, I don't have any names, but, some girls were not that thin, but they were still thin, and they were called out for being, fat, which they
Oh
weren't,
my God, I know.
so not. And it was so difficult. I was really thin when I was in high school, and then I gained weight because life,
If, yeah.
and life, and like the body develops. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have. Some women are thin, some women are not, and that's okay, But you're not supposed to be like really thin all your life. And
Yeah.
when I gained weight, I struggled so much. Like I didn't recognize myself. I was really like lost. And then it took some work, but like I'm okay now. And it's like I'm not like who I used to be, and I'm not like I think I was supposed to be. But that's okay. And now I think there are more representation of women, and that's good because I'm happy to see that my body corresponds to this woman or this woman, and yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I'm happy if you, yeah, feel represented and are happy with yourself. That's really what matters.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I think we've talked enough about other people,
Yeah.
and it's time to focus on you. Um, so, do you have a project that you want to talk about today?
One of my projects or achievement, I don't know how to call it, for like a year and a half now, I've been teaching myself how to sew and how to like do embroideries. I hate that word. I hate that word in English. It's so hard to pronounce. And I taught myself completely, and I really like it because I've always been in love with fashion, and I've always been like somebody who loves fashion. And I think it's great, like in this time and in this society, to be able like to do your own stuff or to like upcycle your old clothes and stuff like this. So yeah, we can consider it as a project, like to
Yeah, definitely.
keep getting better and keep doing stuff. Like my next project actually is like sew a skirt.
Oh,
So yeah, that's
wow.
great. I'm looking forward to do it. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, that's definitely like a great, well, I would call that a project. I don't really
Yeah,
know
I think it's
like
a
if it is.
project.
That's so cool. So how did you start to sew? So you said you started a year and a half ago, right?
Yeah, because like a lot of people, during the lockdown in France, I think we were all like trying to find stuff to do
Yeah.
and not to be too much on Netflix. And that's actually my sister. We follow the same influencer on Instagram, and she tried some embroidery. And my sister sent me some stuff she was trying to do, like really simple, like just write something on old jeans that you have. And so she sent me this, and I did not have the proper material to do it, but I had some simple thread and a needle. So I did the same as her. Actually, I took an old jean that I did not wear because I don't know.
Yeah.
And I made some stuff, and I was happy with it. And then I went and bought special embroidery thread. I kept on doing it, and I'm personalizing different kind of stuff, and I really like it. It kind of soothes me.
Yeah.
So I think I think that's great. And then I wanted to try and sew with like a sewing machine and stuff like this, because by hand it's kind of complicated.
Yeah.
You take a lot of time. I tried to upcycle an old pair of pants into a skirt,
Cool.
and I began to do it by hand, and it was so long. And I talked to my mom about it, and she's like, "You can ask for a sewing machine at Christmas." And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And then I got a sewing machine, and then I was able to do all kinds of stuff, and I think that's very empowering, and I don't know, very I feel very good about myself having done like this type of work. You're very happy with the result, and it's you
Yeah.
who has done
Yeah,
it,
definitely.
and I think that's right.
That's so nice. That's so great. And so how did you learn?
I had some basic knowledge of sewing because my mom taught me to, and I knew how, to fix stuff. And then I don't know, I learned how to use the machine. And the first things I did were like upcycling. So, I took an old piece of clothing and I looked at it and I was like, what can I do with it? And then I tried and like sew stuff. So the first thing I did, I think, was like turn a skirt into a little top. And I'm very happy about myself because I didn't like follow any guideline or any YouTube video or something. I just did it. I don't know. I jumped into it, and I was very happy with myself because I wasn't, I think I didn't find like the thing I'm quite good at, or the thing that I felt very passionate about or that I wanted to do. I was like a normal person who liked to watch, I don't know, TV shows and read, and that was pretty much it. But I was never like this creative person, and I think I found like a part of myself that I didn't know quite existed, and I'm happy about it, and I'm happy I found it.
Yeah, that's so great. So would you say this taught you a lot about yourself?
Well, yeah, it did because as I said, like I didn't think I could be or I was a creative. I always admired people who were and people who you could sing, draw, did stuff like this, and I admired a lot this kind of people. And I did not have this creative thing, so yeah, I learned that sometimes it takes 24, 25 years, but you can find the thing that makes you a creative person. Maybe we all have like a creative side that we don't know or that we don't know.
Oh, that's so great.
I'm very philosophical today.
That's so good to hear. So why would you say you're proud of it, or what makes you proud of yourself in doing this?
I think the fact that the stuff I do came really from me and from my own hands and from my own like mind. And yeah, it's to see like the work accomplished during, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 hours, and you have the result and you're really, really happy about it. And it's something that's entirely like up to you and done by you. And I think that's very something to be proud of.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah. And was there anyone, like any important figure in starting to sew or to embroid? I forgot the word.
Embroid.
Embroid. Thank you.
No, it's not very pretty. And not really. Not really.
Yeah, just herself.
Yeah, just like I said, I think the person like who gave me the idea was my sister because she tried it and we were like, we were talking and she showed me her stuff and then I showed her mine and yeah, I was like, she tried it, so yeah, I can try it. I have nothing else to do, and so yeah, I think she's important in that way that she showed me that she can do it, so I can do it. But after that, like, no, not really. It's me, myself, and I.
Yeah. Cool. You say that when your sister showed you that video, you kind of took some thread and needles and like started directly to do to embroid. But would you say that there was a long thinking process between the time you first like started to think about what you wanted to do, etc., doing it, or did you just jump into it?
No, I jumped into it. Like clearly, I jumped into it. Yeah, I luckily I had like the basic material to do it. Like I had an old jean, I had thread and needle, and I had a pen. The first thing I embroidered was like just a heart at the bottom of the jean. So it's quite easy to draw a heart. And then I drew the heart, and then I went up with my thread and needle, and I did it. And yeah, no, I jumped into it. There was absolutely no thinking about it. I was like, oh, I want to do it, so I did it.
Oh, cool. I like this kind of thing, like dive in literally the next minutes. And was there something more difficult than you thought would be at some point?
Yeah, the difficult thing that I still face it, The difficult thing I encountered was the fact that I can't draw. I can't, so it's not something I'm good at. So sometimes you have like these ideas or stuff, and so you just have to adapt. You use other ways to do it, other solutions to have a good result. But the difficulty I found myself facing is that it's difficult to draw on pieces of clothing or anything when you can't draw.
Yeah.
So that's the difficulty, but that's okay.
So are you learning to draw as well?
Not really, because it's something like I tried when I was younger. Like I'm not the worst, but I'm clearly not the best. And I think drawing is also like, I think it's a mix of talent and work. But I don't think working a lot on my drawing will improve a lot my embroideries or my sewing or anything like this. So
Okay.
it's not something I aspire to do, so I don't.
Fair enough. And was there something on the contrary that you found easier than you thought it would be?
Well, I think, the sewing and embroidering, I think I thought it would be more difficult. I don't know if it's because I enjoy it so much or because, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, but like the stuff I do in general, I are not as difficult as I thought they would be. But then again, like I'm not doing, like a trench coat, so I don't know, like a very, very difficult stuff. But yeah, I think maybe I didn't turn to it beforehand because I thought that it would be, too difficult for me or because I had no knowledge of it. And when I jumped into it and I started to do it, I realized like I can do it and I can, I can do it.
That's so great. Like, I felt that this is such a good thing to just starting and be like, hey, I can do it.
Yeah.
This is, yeah. Cool. I think I don't really have any more question about it, but maybe there is something you want to add about this or about anything else.
It's a whole like another subject, and it was like on my list of stuff I was proud of or happy
Yeah.
about. And I think we're not gonna get like too much into it. I think I wanted to talk about it, like to, I don't know, send like some kind of message, or I don't know. I think it's something that not important to me, but like really I'm proud of like the way, I don't know if you've heard of it. Over the lives, like many, what we say is a uterine fibroid. In French, it's like fibrom. It's so much better. So it's like a mass in your uterus. And I've had like two taken out of me by what resembles to like a C-section. So I went to the hospital, and then I got into surgery and stuff like this.
Wow.
And I think what I wanted to say is that like I'm proud of the way I handled it and what I learned about it and what I learned about me as well, facing like this kind of trouble. I think it. Like the message I wanted to send was like how important it is as a woman, like to take care, of your health, because there are so many things that can go. It's sad to say, but like wrong. We face a lot of stuff that it's important to like do your annual checkup at the gynecologist and stuff like this, because it's not always like the older persons who have problems. And I think that's what I wanted to say, because the first time I had like a fibroid was when I was 20 years old, and then for 1 year I missed my appointment. So I hadn't gone to the gynecologist for like 2 years, and when I went, she like told me that I had a mass in my uterus and that it should be taken out. And it made me realize like the importance of women's health. And so I listed it as my stuff, and I wanted to send the message and say that it's really important to take care of your body. And I know it's not really like easy to go to the gynecologist, because it's not like I don't think any woman likes to go to the doctor, but I think it's very important. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for saying that and for sharing this experience. Yeah, it is so important.
Yeah.
And are you better now? Like, is everything okay?
It's something like I have to live with because, so as I said, like I had two
Mhm.
taken out, so they were masses like of approximately like 10 centimeters, which is
Oh.
yeah, quite a lot. So I have like annual checkups and everything, and it keeps like coming back.
Ah,
And
okay.
so now they don't want to operate anymore because it's after two operations at like 25 years old, it's quite a lot. So
Mhm.
so they don't want to touch it anymore. So I have one now, but it's something like, yeah, you can live with, and it's okay. The one I have is like outside of the uterus, like just against it, but on the outside
Okay.
like part. So it's like it's not like the worst fibroid, which is,
Mm.
I'm lucky in the way that it's not the worst. But yeah, I've learned to live with it, and it's something that I'm actually proud of because I didn't let it. It's not like I don't risk my life or anything. It's not like a tumor or anything. Well, it's called like I don't know how to. Is it benign? Benign?
I have no idea of the word in
I think
English.
that's the word.
Like
So,
harmless?
like, no, it's not like dangerous
Yeah.
for me and for my life. And time will tell if it will impact like my capacity or not to have like children or anything. But
Mm.
it's not something I want to be stressed about. So I'm okay, and it's something like yeah, it's something I'm happy about to be okay with it.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
yeah, it's not always easy, to have like health problems and stuff like this, but we can face it. That's okay.
Yeah, congratulations on that, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I hope it won't affect you too much in the future.
Yeah, yeah, and even if it does, I think there are other ways to, conceive a child or have a child, and
Mm.
there's no one way. Don't say that it will be particularly easy if it creates problems, but
Yeah.
there are other ways, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's great to hear such optimism. Well, thank you so much for being here today. It was
Thank you.
really such a pleasure to have you and to listen to you. And now I really want to start to learn how to sew.
I think you should just like jump into it as I did, and then it'll be great.
Great. Well, thank you. And
Thank
as
you.
the guest, you have the very last words of the podcast. So the mic is
Yeah,
yours.
and I thought of the word sorority.